Hello everyone. Today I will share a very good and useful tip in the kitchen. That is how to sharpen a knife with simple ingredients available at home. First, I took out a familiar knife in the kitchen. This is the knife I often use to cut vegetables and meat every day. On the outside, the blade is still shiny. It seems to be very good. But the truth is that the sharpness has decreased quite a bit. To check, I tried to lightly chop the palm of my hand. You see, the blade almost doesn't create any feeling, proving that it has become dull, no longer sharp enough to cut food smoothly. To be more sure, I continued to put the knife on the cutting board and tried it with a tomato. I moved the blade back and forth, but instead of cutting thin and beautiful slices, the tomato was crushed. The skin did not cut immediately, but just slid on the surface. The tomato slice was therefore thick, distorted, and looked very unattractive. This indicates that the knife is due for a resharpening to regain its original sharpness. Through the above test, it can be seen that this knife is really dull, not sharp enough to cut soft ingredients like tomatoes. If you continue to use the knife in this state, not only will the dish not look good, but it will also make cooking much more time-consuming and unpleasant. So now, I will start the first step of sharpening the knife. I prepare a ceramic plate. First, I turn the ceramic plate upside down to expose the rough bottom. This is the surface that will help sharpen the knife. Then, I squeeze a sufficient amount of toothpaste onto the bottom of the plate. Then spray a little water to dilute the toothpaste, creating a smooth, even layer. Toothpaste contains tiny abrasive particles. Combined with the rough surface of the bottom of the plate, it will become a great knife sharpening tool. Then, I use a spray bottle, spray a little water on the toothpaste to lightly wet it. Now, I place the knife on the plate at an angle of about 20 to 30 degrees. This is the ideal angle for the blade to make just enough contact with the sharpening surface. If it is too straight, the knife will not be sharp, and if it is too tilted, it can damage the blade. Once in the right position, I start moving the knife evenly, rubbing along the edge of the plate. I grind slowly, not too hard. The important thing is to keep a steady and even rhythm between the two sides of the blade. I grind a few times on the right side, then I flip the knife to continue grinding on the left side. While grinding, the toothpaste will gradually thin out and flow around. At this time, I use my hand to collect it and spray a little more water to continue grinding. Thanks to that, the blade is both sharpened and cleaned, removing the thin layer of rust on the surface. When finished, I use a paper towel to wipe the knife clean, and you can immediately see that the blade is a bit brighter, looking like it has just been polished. This is just the first step, but has brought about very obvious results. After completing the step of sharpening the knife with a ceramic disc and toothpaste, the blade is much brighter. But to make the knife really sharp and clean, I will continue with an additional sharpening step, sharpening the knife with potatoes and white salt. First, I place the knife on a cutting board. Then, prepare a fresh potato and use a knife to cut off the top to reveal the smooth and starchy potato core. Next, I sprinkle a layer of fine white salt on the surface of the blade. The salt here acts as a natural abrasive, helping to remove the remaining dirt and help sharpen the blade. Now, I take the potato I just cut. Use the flat side of the potato core to rub directly on the blade. While rubbing, move your hand evenly, moving back and forth many times along the entire blade. During this process, the salt combined with the starch in the potato will stick to the metal surface, helping to gently abrade and at the same time clean, making the knife shiny. After a while of rubbing the right side evenly, I flip the knife and continue to do the same with the left side. If the salt on the potato surface has dissolved, I sprinkled a little more salt on the potato and continued rubbing. Each time like that, you will feel the blade gradually become smoother and sharper. When I feel the blade is sharp enough, I wash the knife again with clean water to remove all the remaining starch and salt. Then, use a paper towel to dry the knife. At this point, the blade is bright, clean and sharp again, ready to use. After completing both grinding steps, with the ceramic plate and toothpaste, then the potato and salt, now it's time to check the results. I'll use the same tomato again to compare before and after sharpening the knife. The first time I tried to cut, you remember, the dull knife made the tomato not cut right away but crushed. The skin slid on the surface. The cut was thick and not pretty. Now, let's try again to see if there's anything different. I put the tomato on the cutting board, gently put the knife down and pulled a very slow line. Immediately, the tomato skin separated neatly. The cut was thin and even, no longer crushed like before. I continued to cut a few more slices. Just by moving the knife very lightly, the tomato was cut cleanly. The tomato slices were thin, even, looking very pretty and attractive. Through this obvious difference, we can see that the tip of sharpening a knife with a ceramic plate, toothpaste, combined with potatoes and salt is really effective. The knife that was dull and difficult to use now regains its sharpness, making cutting easier and faster. So today, I tried an extremely simple trick with you to turn a dull knife into a sharp one in just a few minutes. From a knife that couldn't even cut a tomato, after applying 2 sharpening steps, one with a ceramic plate, combined with toothpaste, one with potatoes and salt, the result really surprised me. The blade was not only shinier, but also regained its sharpness, and could slice tomatoes thinly and beautifully with just one gentle movement. What I like most about this trick is its simplicity and convenience. All the necessary ingredients are available right in the kitchen: a plate, some toothpaste, a potato, and a little salt. No need for a specialized sharpening stone. It doesn't take much time, but the effect is immediately obvious. This will definitely be a useful little tip that anyone who cooks regularly should know. Hopefully, after this video, every time your knife gets dull, you will no longer feel uncomfortable or lose interest in cooking. Try this knife sharpening method and feel the difference. If you find this video useful, don't forget to leave a comment sharing your feelings, click like to support, and remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other interesting tips that I will share in the next videos. Thank you everyone for watching. See you again in the upcoming new content.